Good day to you. This is Retnagowri here from Department of Surgery. I have been given the opportunity to give you this talk for today on how to monitor and document the research progress of the candidate which has been assigned to you. The talk will cover these following areas: the roles and responsibilities of the candidate as well as of the supervisor, or what is expected of them, the evaluation or research evaluation process and related forms, as well as how to monitor the research progress of the candidate assigned to you. Here are the roles and responsibilities of the candidate. This has been given to them during their orientation when they join the program. As your supervisors, it is important that you understand what the roles and responsibilities of your candidates are. Hence, please do look through this flyer by pausing and reading through the points here. The main highlight is to let your candidate know how best to communicate with you when they have to update or discuss their research projects with you. As a supervisor, you will end up playing many roles, starting with, well, the first on the list is you're actually their role model. What do we mean by role model? Why a role model is because it's someone which they would look up to, and at the end they would end up trying to be. Next, you're their mentor. How? Because you will guide them, you will direct them, you will also ask them what their ambitions are so that you can make sure they fulfill their potential. Next is you are their first barrier, hence you are their evaluator and assessor for the research project. You are an administrator. As much as we would like to run away from administrative duties, there are a lot of administrative duties just being the supervisor, from making sure they keep everything documented well. You also end up helping them seek funds, so that involves paperwork. You help them, direct them, you might do emails to get them additional help, or direct them to statisticians who can help them, and so forth. Of course, you are a teacher to them because you will end up teaching them a lot of things indirectly with the passive learning they get from you. You're their counselor. It is important to know when their candidate or your candidate, or when a candidate requires further counseling, to let them know that everyone is here to help them, and the mechanisms the university has for them to seek counsel if they need so. And you're, of course, their colleague. They work with you, they help you manage the patients. And when it comes to research, they are a co-author to the paper which you would hopefully or would like to publish if it's in a standard of. So these are the many roles. I'm going to go into a little bit more on this in the next few slides. Similar to the flyer which is given to the candidate, they're also given this particular flyer on what the roles and responsibilities of their supervisors are. In this slide, which is one of the key slides of this talk, is what are the expected research progress targets and timelines which are important for the candidates to achieve, and for you to know so that you can track that your candidate is progressing well. This whole timeline begins from the point of enrollment and ends with when they defend their theses at the end. And obviously, if they pass that, they will proceed to exams. So this whole process takes a 4-year period, 4+ period. And to begin, the first step is that they first need to, when they enroll and they actually join the program, in the first 6 months when they come and look or get evaluated, it's very important that they've already established the supervisor team and who the supervisors are. They have met the supervisors, and they kind of already start to plan with the supervisors their research topic and project. By the end of the first year, they would have taken the exams, hopefully. But it's also important by the end, when they actually come and meet us or meet the other evaluators or the panel of evaluators, that they have a research topic at hand, they know what their area of interests are, and they've at least addressed the research final criteria. By the middle of their second year, they should be telling us or showing progress to you all as well as to the panel, that their proposal and their methods are settled, that they actually know what the sample collection is going to be, and they must have justified to the panel and to you. In fact, before they justify to us, they should have justified to you that the sample size which they are going to collect is sufficient, feasible, and so forth. And they will present us the full project Gantt chart. If they would like, they can actually attempt their proposal defense at this stage, which is already at 15 months into their program. However, it's not compulsory. When it is compulsory for them to actually do their PD is in the 18-month period, which is in year 2.2, which is 18 months into their program. Here is when they actually present everything. A proper literature review, ethics should be approved. They should at least tell us that they're going to start the data collection, the project itself is feasible, and so forth. So this is a very crucial time point. And now we have decided that at this point, if they are still struggling, they might be considered to be given more time to work on their research project. It cannot actually prove to the panel that they are progressing well with their research. Once they have cleared their proposal defense, they would then move on to collecting data. So as the supervisors, you have to make sure that their data collection is going well, that they have an idea on how they're going to plan their data collection, but how they plan to analyze the data they're collecting. And they in fact can have dummy tables on how they want to present this data which is being collected, and so forth, in a presentation format, not their pro forma. Their pro forma would be actually much earlier. In fact, they should have their pro forma ready before ethics, because that will be some part of the ethics application. Here is in their third year, they should be already telling the panel that the data collection is going, and that they should be able to achieve their data collection and so forth. By the middle of third year, they should be telling that their data collection is almost done, and they could show us some preliminary analysis and so forth, so that we know that this is actually how we know that their project is going in the right direction. Of course, this is just in terms of timeline and tracking. In the talk on how to assign a research topic and so forth, I believe there will be some points which will be covered on how you know that the candidate's project is doable within the time period given to them. So if you see, in terms of data collection, they have a decent, it depends. With a retrospective study, they might have a decent 2 years to do data collection. If it's a prospective study, they have probably a year to a year and a half to do data collection. So it is actually very limited in the period when they can collect data. So you want to make sure that their sample size is achieved within this period, because if they do not achieve it, it is a red flag to the panel. They will get an opportunity, if they are on time, to actually have a pre-CD defense with the panel in their fourth year, which is actually before they defend their CD in January. Well, it's normally January. Nowadays that timeline has kind of shifted a little bit, but normally it's that January mark when they have their final defense. But no matter what, they have a chance to have a pre-CD and a practice run with the panel if they actually get their data collection and analysis fully done by then, so that they can just tweak it and start writing up and so forth. So this is a way for you to monitor them and to make sure that they're progressing well and that they're not falling behind in terms of their research. So I've already shown you how you would keep track of their progress of what the candidate should be doing during the full period of their program period given to them in terms of their research and how to keep it moving in a more timely fashion. Of course, you would keep in mind that you have to factor in terms of delays and so forth. So as the supervisor, it is very important that you give them a project which gives them some buffer period for data collection and so forth, so that they do not fall behind and get to exams, and that they actually be able to do a project which is at the end at publishable, even if it's at a scopus level. Here are the forms, by the way, which I'm going to start going through a little bit one by one. What I would like to highlight, so there are actually 3 different forms for the different stages. This is the research proposal evaluation form. So actually this is what is going to use or will be the decider at the 18-month period on whether the student can proceed or they might need more time for the data collection and so forth. By this stage, it is very important that they do not have more than one unacceptable criteria. Otherwise, they will be considered that they require major revision, and once they are told they need major revision, they're already at a borderline of considered being a risky on being extended and so forth. And if they end up having a poorly written proposal or poorly presentation, they will be rejected and will be asked to seek a different research project. So please have a look at this mark sheet, or which is used at each progress evaluation until they clear their proposal defense. The next evaluation is form, which is more on tracking their research progress. This is the form. Again, they could be rejected at this stage if they show poor progress, and rejection here is more of they will be asked to be given an extension if they feel that their data collection is going poorly, mainly data collection is going poorly, or if they are showing that they may not be extended for their analysis plan. But you can see on this side, it is very important that all of these points are satisfied as much as possible in order for them to be considered that they're progressing well. This form is used until the end of 3rd year, so once they have shown good progress and so forth, they will be moved to the final form. The final form is the actual form which is used for the CD defense. We will use it for pre-defense in their 4th year. This is the exact criteria which are used part of the evaluation form, or well, exactly from the evaluation form, in which they have to get all of it as satisfied as possible, because if they end up getting more than 2 unacceptable criteria in this list, that means end up having to tick unsatisfactory in 2 of these things, they will be asked to redefend. And at redefense, which is normally 2 weeks after the actual defense date, they end up doing the same, they will be rejected and be asked to extend for 6 months. So it is very important that the candidates do not present or have poorly written theses, because if they do, they will be asked to be extended. This form is used for the pre-defense, so they get a practice run, and it is very important at that practice run that they take all the feedback given to them seriously. They come and relay, so please ask them what was said during their you should ask them what was said in each of their evaluations, so that you can implement or clarify with the panelists and so forth on what was the
what went wrong with the presentation, or how they presented, or not just the presentation, or what was unclear about their project, or what is not feasible about their project, so you can address it with your candidate and guide them in making it better. So at the defense or pre-defense, you would want to do the same thing. And this is very important because at the end of it, you do not want your candidate coming there and over-concluding their findings, presenting their data incorrectly, or discussing the strengths and weaknesses incorrectly, or discussing their results incorrectly, as well as having poorly designed slides and poorly written theses. And of course, the main thing is their alternative analysis report should not be more than 20% similar. So at the pre-CD, they may be told and highlighted to them that this is important. But for the CD, if they do not come and produce a good written thesis and prove that it is not more than 20% similar, they will be asked to show that proof in order to proceed to exams, or even maybe they will be asked to redefend just for that. So please encourage them to take their progress evaluation and their defense seriously. And this is what we encourage the supervisors to tell them and guide them on. Thank you.